Ghosts in the machines. This one might bore a lot of you. I'm sure there's a completely reasonable explanation that has nothing to do with anything supernatural. That said, I'm a rookie that knows little about networking, and it baffled me in the tech, so here I am. To preface this, we're a huge company with an even huger portfolio of tech to support, so we outsource a lot of it. Networks are handled by a different company. We make sure to get them info like what lights are on, power status, cable connectivity, restart router, and then they send the tech. Normal day, lots of work being done, kinda proud of things so far, and then he calls. Site has no internet again. Except the router seems connected to our system fine, which he even acknowledges. Router is fine, devices have no IPs. So I dig a bit, and find devices with IPs. That's no biggie, our portal sometimes keeps old IPs that aren't actually working anymore. I connect to one of their computers without issue. Me. Hey, I've connected to the computer so you're good to go. Him. Weird, I could have sworn we didn't have internet. Thanks, never mind then. Me. Yeah, it's weird like that sometimes. See this icon down here? Icon says no internet connection. Me. Huh, the icon must be incorrect since I'm connected, let me just open a browser. Browser can't connect to any sites. No internet. Me. Ha. Him. Ha. My coworkers crowding around me. Ha. My ticket sent to our internet provider. Site is up and not up. Site has no internet but can be connected to despite being in a different country from us. Suspect networking wizardry or ghosts. Please check configs and/or perform an exorcism. Monthly server reports. So this is from about 15 years ago, before the implementation of Lansweeper or other such network infrastructure inventory apps. Corporate turned out to be two idiots checking off a box, had the bright idea to send out a spreadsheet to all of its locations to fill out needed information on every server we had. Oh yes, I still think of these server reports every time I see the TPS reports in Office Space to this day. My personal area of responsibility had about 18 such machines on this list. The spreadsheet asked a lot of static information like amount of RAM and hard drive size. Then several things that changed almost daily like free space on data share, number of databases running and number of possible users. That is basically a guess. It was plain idiotic and time-consuming. Several months later all IT managers were meeting at corporate and the man who thought up this brainchild Excel report gave a 10-minute speech on the value of this information and then asked for questions. I raised my hand. Me. So what good is it? Speaker. What do you mean? Me. Well, this report is all well and good but honestly why do you need to know, let's say, how much free space is on my server? If it is full are you going to automatically ship me a bigger server or maybe bigger drives to install? Speaker. Well, no of course not. Me. Then I repeat. What good is it? Why do I need to spend my time filling out this information that will not create an action item to resolve any actual problem? This immediately spurred almost every manager there to speak out on their own problems with the report. 2 weeks later it was removed from our responsibilities. I hate busy work. His sound card died. Another post reminded me of the time I was able to earn over $2K an hour from a service call. I was working in an independent shop at the time that was fairly generous with free diagnostics if you brought the PC in, especially with return customers. One thing we were never flexible with was on-site service. Our rate at the time was $85 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. No exceptions, a tech wouldn't even be scheduled until the minimum was paid up front. A regular came in and said his sound stopped working. He didn't want to disconnect his tower and bring it in so I ran through a few things with him to check himself before we set up a service call. A couple of hours later he called and said he didn't get anywhere and would like us to send out a tech. I was available later that day so I scheduled it and ran his card. When I showed up I looked through Windows briefly for anything obvious. Nothing is muted, device manager reports that everything is good, speakers are plugged into the correct jack and have power. I went to YouTube and started a video. After cranking up the volume one heard some noise coming from under the desk. Laying down in front of the tower I see a pair of headphones that are plugged into the front headphone jack. I reached down to unplug them and the speakers start blaring Led Zeppelin. I was a little embarrassed for the guy as he just paid $170 for me to unplug his headphones. I spent about an hour tutoring him before I left so he'd get a little more for his money. Thanks for watching and don't forget to give a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Have a good one.